Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to Bible Slash Chat. Gus, how are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you
What are you
doing?
drinking today?
I'm having coffee.
Perfect. Me too. We have 2 cups of coffee.
Look at that.
So we are here doing another Bible Slash Chat. It's
Yeah.
good to have you. We've been talking about how missionaries need to ask for money because they're going to share the gospel in other places, and the church needs to support them. And by doing so, they become fellow partakers of the work of God.
I was gonna say something, but you just totally took that away from me.
Sorry.
But it is a question about actually what you just said in the beginning about money.
Right.
So how does our money? Because this Sunday you preached a sermon at church that was really interesting. It was very good.
You don't have to lie just because we're on video. Just kidding. All right, go ahead.
God is my witness.
Nice.
It was very good, bringing a deity in to talk about these things, right? But it was really interesting to think about something you said in the very beginning of the sermon that was proven throughout, that is like our finances are a window into our hearts. And it's something that I even talked to our boys about later. And Melissa and I have talked about that at length throughout our marriage, how like our finances are a window into our hearts. But how can you explain that even to laymen, people that think, well, money's the root of all evils. You hear that often. So is that what you meant by it?
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe it wasn't that clear.
No. It was a great sermon.
It wasn't as good.
I'm totally lost.
You did say money was bad. Okay, good.
No. Okay, so just off the top, money's not bad, obviously, right? It's just an inanimate object. Money is can be used for some of the best things in the world. You can give money for the care of a helpless person and help them survive, or you can use money to do terribly wicked things, right? Money can be used for all sorts of evil. So money isn't the issue. Money can be used both good and evil. The issue is the heart of a person.
Yeah.
And the reason why money is so crucial in determining what's going on inside of our hearts is because it actually shows us what we treasure. Like, for example, if you have a person who really treasures cars, and they love cars, they're going to spend money on their cars, right? They might live in a one-bedroom apartment. They're going to have a really nice car, right? Or if you have a person who really treasures fitness and their body, they'll be spending money on things that will allow them to do fitness stuff. Right, exactly. I mean, myself as well. You can tell my physique. So you have people who are treasuring things, and what they spend their money on is actually what it actually is like a litmus test backwards into their heart to see what's actually going on inside of them and what they love. Even the secular world will tell you this. If you love knowledge, you spend money on college. You might spend money on books, whatever. If you love TV, or if you love sports, you'll spend money on jerseys and all the latest TV, so you can watch all the games, and NFL Network or whatever. So again, money is just a window that passes through us into what we actually love and treasure. And what happens is, for the Christian, money becomes the window to see what's going on inside of us in terms of what we love and treasure. And what it actually does is it allows us to see what's really going on inside of us. What it shows us is whether or not we're loving Christ or loving something else. When we love Christ, we can still use our money with freedom to eat and to buy things and to watch NFL Network and to get a car and to have fitness and all those other things. But we realize that those things are not the primary thing. The primary thing is Jesus. And so what we're willing to do is give those things up, whether it's cars or fitness or sports or leisure time or vacations or houses or whatever. We're willing to give our money up in order to make Christ look glorious. So what that's doing is actually freeing us to give. It frees us to let go of our money in places and ways that God would have us to let go of our money. And the way we see that in Scripture is all over the place. But it's very interesting, the story of Paul with Macedonia and Achaia. So he hears that there's a famine in Jerusalem. Paul wants to meet those needs. And so he contacts these churches, these Gentile churches in Macedonia and Achaia, and he says, listen, give. So he goes to Achaia. He's in Corinth. He's encouraging them to give. They say, yes, we're going to give a generous gift. He leaves and he goes to Macedonia. In Macedonia, he says, hey, the guys in Achaia are giving a generous gift. You guys should too. The Macedonians get together, and in 2 Corinthians 8, Paul actually says they gave above and beyond their ability. So they were willing to give even more than they even had, to the point of their own suffering, in order to care for the saints in Jerusalem. And Paul even tries to stop them, and they're begging him to take more from them. What's going on there? What's actually being revealed in the hearts of the Macedonians is that they don't actually treasure even their own lives in comparison with what would make Christ look glorious. And in that case, what was going to make Christ look glorious is giving to the church in Jerusalem, which provided unity between the Jews and the Gentiles. So at the end of the day, money in that case is being used to show what's happening in their hearts. And Paul actually says in Romans chapter 15, it's very interesting. It says, therefore, when I have finished, verse 28, when I have finished this and have put my seal on this fruit of theirs. What's he saying? He's saying the seal that he's putting on there is a seal that the gospel has produced this fruit in their hearts. They love Christ more than money. And that's proving that they actually are alive, that they actually know Jesus, that he's their treasure, as they open their hands and let go of their money for the sake of the gospel. And so Paul says, look, once that happens, I'm going to go back to Rome and then go to Spain. But I got to go do this first because it proves that they're true believers. And the same can be said of us. What we do with our money, what we do with our time, what we do with our resources proves what's happening inside of our hearts. If we love Christ, we're happy to let go of those things for the sake of him. If we're unhappy to let go of those things, sometimes it can reveal that our hearts are not actually loving Christ.
It's really interesting as you were talking about this, and maybe this is another video, but I was thinking of the story of Zacchaeus and the rich and ruler. Two true stories, right? One of them loves money. Yeah. The other one loves Jesus.
Yeah.
And one of them has everything going for him. The other guy is hated. Yeah. And yet one of them finds Christ and salvation, and the other one finds Christ and damnation.
Yeah. Goes away sad.
Because of their hearts. Yeah. And it's really interesting to think about that.
Yeah, it's amazing to parallel those two stories. That's very insightful to be able to say, like, here's one who loves money and he comes to Christ and he goes away sad because his heart's not filled. Here's one who loves Christ and he has a lot of money, but because even though he has a lot of money, he finds Christ, he loves Christ, and he goes away joyful, right? It literally says he was full of joy that Christ had come into his house this day.
Well, and the fact that he actually is bankrupt by the time
he gives everything away.
Gives everything away because the issue is that he loves Christ.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So,
yeah. Thanks, man. That's super insightful.
So one more thing. I was thinking. So how? Obviously, I think that when you're talking about having money, does that mean that it's wrong to have a lot of money? Yeah. Is it a problem, or like, I don't have a lot of money, so I'm free, right?
It's easy. Yeah. Yeah. We actually talked about this on Sunday too, but it's not about the amount of money you have. It's what's in your heart. Yeah. Right. So a person may have not very much money, but may crave money. Yeah. And so they're super ungenerous. They're unwilling to give or to meet needs of other people because they're desperate to have more. A person might have a lot of money and actually be absolutely generous and say, I'll give it all away. I don't care because I love Christ, right? So it's not about how much we have. It's about what's in our hearts. Yeah. And what's in our hearts is revealed in how we use that money. Yeah. And again, just to be very clear, people are free to spend their money on whatever they want. But when a need arises, like, what does faith in the heart do? Well, it seeks to meet that need, especially for a brother or sister in Christ.
Well, it's what you brought up on Sunday about in James, right? How you're willing to say be warm and be filled to someone, and closing your heart to them really shows that really you're not regenerate.
Yeah, totally.
So nothing has happened in your heart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's actually really a fascinating. I didn't spend as much time as I could have, but in James 4, and James 2, he says, when a brother comes to you without food or clothing, and you say, be warmed and be filled without meeting their needs, but instead close your heart to them. So it's interesting. He doesn't say close your wallet. He says close your heart. Yeah. It's actually a heart. So your heart and your wallet are linked together inextricably. And the wallet reveals what's in the heart, you can't peel those two things apart. Yeah. Anyway, good. Very good. Yeah, super helpful.
Very helpful.
Well, I hope that's helpful for you. These are always sensitive topics, but we hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch with us at info@faithbibleoc.org. Thanks so much.
Thank you.